Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a look at a really unexpected detour down the scientific road of Nobel laureate Andre Geim. Our mission is to unpack his philosophy and see how just, random curiosity led to something like graphene.
It's a complete rejection of the typical academic path, really. I mean, Geim saw that research often gets stuck on what he called zombie projects.
Zombie projects, I like that.
Exactly. So his solution was you have to constantly introduce something new, a new experimental system. It's just more rewarding than fighting in these crowded fields.
And to do that, he had his famous Friday night experiments. These were sort of exploratory detours, right?
That's right. But they weren't just, fooling around for an hour. These could be months-long efforts in lateral thinking. And get this, they had a success rate of over 10%, which is just, it's extraordinary.
Okay, so let's talk about the most famous example. It started from a pretty practical place.
Yeah, he felt almost guilty. They had these incredibly powerful electromagnets at Nijmegen.
And they weren't being used enough.
Not for high field phenomena at room temperature, no. So he needed to justify the equipment.
Which led him to the flying frog, the Ig Nobel Prize winner. He started by, and this sounds crazy, pouring water into the machine's bore.
Right, highly unprofessional. But then the water started levitating.
Okay, so that was caused by diamagnetism.
Oh.
That sounds super technical. Can you put into perspective how surprising that levitation actually was?
It's incredible. I mean, diamagnetism is this tiny, tiny magnetic response in water, billions of times weaker than iron. So for that minuscule force to actually counteract gravity and lift first water and then a whole frog, it was shocking.
And that little floating frog became this huge symbol in textbooks.
It really did. And he had another one of these detours, the Gecko tape.
Right, where they copy the tiny hairs on a gecko's feet.
Yeah, they got proof of concept, showed the physics worked, even if the material itself fell apart later.
So all these successes, they kind of cemented his belief in this random walk approach to science.
And that approach, that philosophy, it ultimately led to the big one, graphene. It sort of emerged from merging three different thought clouds, as he put it.
Which were?
The search for a strong electric field effect in metals, the whole buzz around carbon nanotubes, and just a lot of contradictory papers on graphite.
And this is where we get the legend of the Scotch tape.
Yes. So a student was trying to polish a chunk of graphite to be as thin as possible and was failing pretty badly.
And then what happened?
A colleague who used sticky tape just to clean graphite samples for a different experiment pointed out that the bits left on the tape, the stuff they threw away, were much, much thinner.
Wait a second. So you're telling me a Nobel Prize winning discovery technique was basically found because someone realized that trash was better than the actual experiment?
That's absolutely the core of it. But here's the thing. Seeing the thin flakes, that wasn't the eureka moment.
Okay, so what was?
It was realizing the electrical properties were just shocking. They made this really crude device, with silver paint and a toothpick on a bit of glass, and it showed this huge electric field effect, the EFE.
Meaning its resistance changed when they applied a voltage.
By several percent, which for a thin film like that was unheard of. It was a massive result.
And graphene's very existence it defied so many scientific rules at the time.
Oh, completely. Theory said that 2D crystals like that should be thermodynamically unstable.
Why did everyone think that in the first place?
Well, physics basically predicted that a continuous 2D material should just instantly curl up or coagulate into little islands. But there it was, continuous, highly conductive, single-atom layers.
And they didn't even use a clean environment for this.
Not at all. That's the other defiant part. It was sitting on a rough surface, exposed to air, and it still showed this astonishingly high charge carrier mobility, up to 10,000 centimeter vels. That just contradicted all the common wisdom of surface science that demanded ultra-high vacuum.
So it's that single atomic layer that makes it fundamentally different from its parent, graphite.
It's everything. It's not just thin graphite. In a single layer, its charge carriers behave almost like light-like massless Dirac fermions. Geim even said that adding a second layer, making it a bilayer, already turns it into, scientifically, a heap.
Why?
That's how unique that single monolayer is.
The whole graphene story really drives home his philosophy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we often dig too deep in one spot.
When there's all this unexplored stuff, just, one poke away.
It's an amazing lesson.
And here's the truly provocative thought to leave you with. Graphene, this revolutionary, science-defying material. It has been present in every single pencil trace made for centuries. It was right there, right under our noses, the whole time.